which, do we want to continue talking?
So, Liz, you have 4,000 years of history. You didn't pick now. You pick sometime in the fuzzy future. When is your second golden age? Also, do we need other drinks? Because I'm out.
Well, I would like another drink.
Bye, guys. Oh, never mind. Yeah, we're going to continue talking for a little bit, because this is the benefit of watching live.
Like, when we had 3 hours of podcasts back in the day, we would still continue after the fact.
Yeah, we would. And the goal is to shorten the episodes down
which we
via this question, which we have, because usually we're on like the 3-hour mark by now. And it's a lot to cut. No, wait, what was your question, Brandon? The why?
Do you need drinks?
When? No, you're fine.
Well,
when is your other second golden age that's not now or in the future?
Yeah.
Because I know we all have other like runners up that we were considering.
You know, as far as like, if we're looking at the golden age, Katie says she likes the focus subject. It's a nice switch up. I agree. I think
yeah, I like it.
It's not so all over it, and that way we can have more things to discuss instead of like, well, we've already talked about supernovas. But anyway, or supernovae. Anyway,
thank you.
You're welcome. I know.
By the way, in a couple weeks, supernovae will be a topic.
Oh, are we actually doing my bullshit question?
It was not a bullshit question because we actually fucking discussed it for a minute.
Okay, we'll keep that. Stay tuned.
This episode.
Can I answer this question now? Anyway, so basically, to me, a golden age is that like peak and that heightened discovery, and I think that what goes along with that is also public support. It's like a war, you know, in order for you to really, like, the Vietnam War, we lost that because we lost public support, and so we had to withdraw. Don't talk to me about that. Anyway, so I think that the period of the late 1800s through early 1900s, like, through maybe, I don't know, maybe mid 1900s, would be the height of physics, the golden age of physics, because you have Einstein and you have Hubble and you have this sort of huge burst of interest with a ton of people studying these things, and the public for the most part is like, hey, cool, wow. It's like, gets in newspapers, it gets in the media, where it's like I see Mike's point as we're still in one. But if you look at it, like, if scientists using Hubble find something new, because it's not Hubble, it's the scientists using the Hubble, it's like maybe gets a footnote in like the general public newspaper, you know.
It's interesting that you're bringing up the public
because I think that contributes to it being a golden age, because if you're looking at a golden age, it's something that lands in the history book, and that requires the public support and a majority of public view sort of thing. Well, you know, it is the winners write the history books, and unfortunately, I mean, you know, and I can only kind of feel safe is a bad word in saying this, is because I was surprised working in the planetarium at how little adults knew and understood about the most basic astronomy concepts. And so,
like,
and
example,
also,
what is in the center of the solar system?
Yeah, and when I would be excited about, you know, LIGO, people would just be getting excited. They wouldn't know about it. Lego? Yeah, and it would be just like excitement of, like when I showed a visual of two black holes merging, you know, and it was like, oh, cool, you know, but it wasn't something that was dominant or prevalent in their minds, you know.
So
if
it's
you
not
ask,
necessarily public support; it's just public awareness.
Which I think public support and public awareness kind of go hand in hand in a sense, because, well, you know, okay, but, you know, so what I'm saying is because you had what I found, so it just seems like when looking at history, you have in the early 1900s, late 1800s, it's like this huge burst of all this discovery and exploration in all these different facets of the sciences, physics included, and then that does dwindled off. And the only reason why the space race was so prevalent was because we were trying to beat Russia. It wasn't about going to the moon. It was like getting to the moon before Russia did. Exactly it had that political and that militaristic and competitive, nationalistic backing to it, where as soon as we did that, support dwindled, so it was no longer about, hey, what can we discover by going to the moon, and what else can we send up to fucking space? It was like, hey, we did that, we beat Russia, goodbye now, that's done, moving on. It was
never about discovery on the moon, but also only 1 point did the Apollo program have above 50% public approval rating. Only one time, and that was July 21st, 1969. After that, it went back down. Only one, so it never had the full public support behind it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, like, because you had it as, like, everybody was sort of, like, excited about all this new stuff that was happening in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and when I say this, I mean, like, it's, like, wealthy white people, but, dominantly, you know, but then it then becomes a like, who's that? Like, what's happening?
You know, when I formulated the question, by the way, Jack says, I thought of it as chain reaction, where a couple of key findings that led to a series of discoveries, 6 degrees of separation of discovery.
Well, those new findings then lead to be like, oh, this is a new idea, and then it branches out. And
but when I formulated the question in our conversation watching, I don't know, barbecue.
I don't know.
It was barbecue.
It was probably barbecue. America's Barbecue Showdown on Netflix. It's fun times.
We know who wins.
Makes you real hungry. We're got ribs in the crock pot right now.
Yeah, that's what that's led to. But anyway, I have never thought or cared in that question about what the public thought.
But
and I think this becomes, and this comes from one of the reasons why I went into physics was I don't have to worry about people.
I think it depends on your definition of a golden age and what entails into what a golden age is. You know, because
I didn't know Republicans are physicists.
What?
Wait, what'd you say?
I said I didn't know Republicans are physicists because they don't have to worry about people.
Oh, wow. Okay. I separate my politics from my physics. So.
Well, no, and because I mean, no.
I need to give you a buzz.
Give him a drink. Okay, we'll take a little. Jack's listening. Jack's asleep right now. Oh, Jack is listening. Our Jack the dog, is asleep right now.
No, he is.
Yeah, he's sleeping right over there. And now I forget what I was going to say.
How's everybody doing?
Well, Brandon's gone.
He left us, but
okay. Well, let's tell them about. Yeah, so Mike posed this question while we're watching whatever, sitting on the couch. So we debate it, and then we get Brandon involved. Brandon's very pro Aristotle, which then we were definitely argue with Brandon about, but he has since switched that. What I like, so these are the best questions in an educational setting. These are your signature questions. They're open-ended with no wrong answer, and these are the best questions that allow you to explore based on your knowledge and your opinions, and that's what's great about, I think, these kind of questions, because we can go back and forth all day on, what you're implying by the question, but then what I take the question as,
But interestingly, though, what started all this was you and I were having an intellectual conversation about something else.
Did it start with religion?
Maybe, and so I actually,
it's already overflowing.
Did you shake it?
Nice.
No.
So I posed the question.
Beef. Enjoy. Liquid Mongolian beef. I like the pinky. You have to have the pinky.
It's actually really good.
It's such a fucking
Mongolian beef beer.
No,
I don't know.
It does have the chocolatey taste to it. I apologize,
but I actually posed the question to make a point, and I'll Be damned if I remember what the point was.
What the point you had in your head was.
I don't know, but I made it.
Because you thought of a golden age, you were like, I want to make sure somebody knows what my golden age of physics is.
I have 2 golden ages of physics, and I will tell you what they are. Well, it probably came out of like the Chronicles of Frankenstein or something.
No, I don't think we were watching that. It could have been the barbecue one because we were talking about physics and barbecue. And the real answer is the golden age in physics is barbecue. That's the real answer.
That's what we discovered today. So
it's when man figured out how to control, not just use, but control fire.
Make that goddamn barbecue,
barbecue,
which we are making tonight.
It's
with homemade sauce, by the way.
We were talking about thermodynamics earlier, and so let me write down some of the cliff notes I wrote about different types of physics. So I have classical/Newtonian physics, forces on objects, thermodynamics, temperatures, pressures, electromagnetism, electron shit, relativistic mechanics, Einstein, quantum, wibbly wobbly stuff, particle physics, wibbly wobbly, particle physics, big collider, small things, and cosmology. Ah, yes.
Wait a minute, you're saying quantum?
Those were your notes?
Quantum is wibbly wobbly stuff. Because I don't fucking get it.
It's wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey.
The more I look into and try to study quantum,
no, your brain explodes. Your brain explodes.
So it's just wibbly wobbly stuff.
That means you're getting.
You know what? Okay, the golden age of physics is when human beings' brains no longer explode when they think about physics.
My brain has not exploded. That actually is a.
Think deeply about falling into a black hole and tell me your brain doesn't explode a little bit.
I have a really good answer. The golden age of physics will be, or possibly has been, when we have not used our technological physical advances for weaponry or to defend or to treat to death.
Kill other people?
That's politics. That is not. Physics doesn't care about that shit.
When we so when we no longer weaponize physics is the golden age of physics.
Physics does not care about what you do with it. It does not care.
Physics.
No, that is an engineering thing. It is people. It is engineers that have taken what they understand about the universe and weaponized it.
But people make not physics. A golden age.
So let me ask you this: Do we just stop understanding physics until we live in a society where we don't kill people because they are African American? Do we wait on physics until we decide, hey, we live in a utopian world where we are not going to have any kind of bombs shot at another person? Do we wait until we get rid of all handguns? Do we wait until we get have universal health care for everybody? No, that is a human point of view that has nothing to do with physics. Physics is all about understanding fundamentally how the universe operates, and has nothing to do with this is going to have to be added somehow.
Physics will forever be linked to politics. You cannot separate the two, unfortunately. And the current understanding of our world in the past couple thousand years. For example, look at William Herschel as he's discovering planets and stuff. The first one he finds, he names it after his benefactor, King George. And so he's going to do what the benefactors want them to do.
But that has nothing to do with physics.
Well, politicians don't know that a nuke is made up of physics. They just know it just explodes shit and kills a lot of people.
Okay, so again, do we stop understanding the universe until we get politicians?
No, because the problem is, you end up with a Dark Ages. A Dark Ages where nothing, that you have no new, discovery, art, whatever happening. But we do tend to come back from it.
Let's say, for example, we live in our current technological state. However, no weapons are produced. No weapons of mass destruction are made. Is that a Dark Age?
No.
If no further scientific progress is made,
if we can somehow curb our evolutionary lizard brain us versus them instinct to stop making weapons.
So would that be a golden age or a dark age?
That would be a neutral
an age,
a bad age.
Listen, I can tell you that physicists today, and I will even say physicists in the 1940s during World War II, back in Galileo's time, did not want their ideas of the universe to be weaponized.
Oh,
unfortunately,
no.
We live in a goddamn world where the politicians weaponize the physics.
Okay, hold on. Let me just say, Jack's comment on Twitch, or is it like in education? And I've seen this. I can't believe you've seen this, Jack. That the name physics is scary to students, so they rebranded it as applied physical sciences. Now, I will say though, if I think back on myself as a high schooler, I did take chemistry versus physics, and physics did seem like it was harder. Like, it was the harder class to take, and so I chose
we all know about
chemistry, I'm not math oriented.
Ironically, you choose the one thing that actually is a little more difficult in math.
And I got a C in chemistry. I would have done very well in biology if I didn't ditch classes, as my mom will recant the story of my biology teacher talking to her. But and my sister concurs that she thought that too was high school, that physics does come off as scary. And it was later on in my life when I saw, like, wait, you mean physics is just like figuring how shit like moves and the actions of things, and you get to drop eggs off fucking rooftops? God damn it!
And you know what's crazy is that we fundamentally understand physics of the universe. Because let's think about it. When you get into a car, the first time that you drive that car, you don't get into a wreck. You actually understand fundamentally deep in your brain how slow you need to slow down to avoid hitting something. Our brains are hardwired for physics. It's the way that we are going to survive in this weird Newtonian physics. Because
stuff is weird. I don't get that. It's not ingrained in me.
Because we live in a macro world made up of all these little atoms and stuff, and the quantum physics portion of this kind of evens out, and you get Newtonian physics. So the question is where is that boundary between Newtonian physics and quantum physics? But God damn it, I wish I could remember what I was going to say.
Well, and then that's where my thing is, like, we haven't reached it yet, is because there's so much we don't understand. And so it's like, what's exciting is, like, what don't we understand? Like, what are the possibilities of this universe? Because we really are so limited in what we've done so far. And that is largely due to our own psychological faults as a species.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of evolution to still go through if we can survive fucking what we do to the earth.
We won't. I do want to make, I remember one of the things I wanted to say.
Okay.
You said that, and Katie is the same, that when you were, well, at this point, it's just Twitch. We all know.
You might add this in, Mike.
We might have new people listening. We don't.
No, we don't. But anyway, so you said it was scary, and I do think that is
no. Jack's quote was that they're scary, but yes, I saw it as intimidating and hard.
Add a second.
Go for it. You got it. I'm right here. Okay. I'm.
So, having grown up in South Carolina, I want to say that there's actually, because you were from a secular upbringing.
Yes, I was very secular.
That
not forced religion.
there
Thank you,
is
parents.
also a religious component to this that makes it scary for some people, mainly the parents, for their kids, going, hey, physics is going to teach you that God does not exist and, whatever. But that is not the point of high school physics, folks.
Yeah, well, Galileo wasn't excommunicated until 1993, so we have a long way to go in that realm.
I mean, he was reinstated.
Reinstated, yeah. No, he was... Yeah, they reneged on his excommunication. Yeah, he was unexcommunicated in 1993. That's what I said. We're after the fact, but drink if you heard a little bark in the background.
I have no drink.
Jack's trying to play with Leia right now.
All right, well, I'm going to go make a drink.
You know what? Since we're just on Twitch, I'm just going to... Oh, we're in motion right now, everybody. There they are. There's Leia.
Look at the puppers.
See them? There they are.
And they stopped. There we go, Jack.
There we go. Jack's
get him, Jack!
Trying to get Leia now.
Being all cute.
I know, they're adorable. I love them so much. And they frustrate me just as much.
So much. Oh, well, okay. One of them frustrates you.
It's Leia.
All right, I will be back.
Okay.
Yep, so I never ditched, but I asked my mom to get off school early and take days off.
Oh my god. I would ask, yay, Jack's on the puppies. I would ask my mom to call me out for lunch so I could go off campus for lunch.
Yeah.
And then I would end up, ditching the rest of it, but, whatever.
Also, when I was on the golf team, we would be gone for 2 days a week, every single week.
Of course you were on the fucking golf team, Brandon.
Went to fucking States.
Wow. Oh my god.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. The golden age of physics? Is that what it was?
It's you. We can't talk physics between two of us.
No, because we don't have the knowledge in any way, shape, or form. We can speak layman's astronomy. That's what we do. And that's all you need to do as a planetarium presenter. Explain complex shit in an easy to understand format.
So one asshole from NASA that you didn't know works for NASA until he tells you after the fact, starts peppering you with questions. Dude, who the fuck is this motherfucker peppering with questions?
Look,
and then
at least
afterwards he goes, I work with JPL. You son of a bitch.
At least that's not some fucking homeschool mom that then you get in an argument with on why the formation of Venus does not mean creationism is real.
All right. So you get what was your craziest fact you heard in the planetarium that someone asked you about? What was your craziest thing?
Oh god.
Just one. We have so many. You have to pick one.
God, can I even remember? I don't even know. It was you know what? The one thing because after I had explained, what was it about? It was something about Venus, and the mom was like, the way you explain Venus, God created the Earth, the universe. And I was like, what part did you misunderstand? I don't know. There's been so many. So you have stories about that. You talk about it while I remedy myself with some liquid.
Find the singular craziest moment we had in the planetarium.
Oh God!
The one moment, not many, just one.
Oh. Well, okay. So just because of how loud this person was, I think this is the craziest moment for me. And like I said, I haven't said it yet. I have been gone making a drink and letting dogs out and stuff like that. So I know that Jack is in the planetarium field, so I would love to know his thoughts about this as well, if he hasn't already done it. But anyway, we had given a show. We had created a show called Jurassic Planet, where it talked about the dinosaurs and the possible extinction of the dinosaurs at the end of the Cretaceous period. We talked about, volcanoes and asteroid impacts and stuff like that. And basically just also there was an evolution component to the show. And at the end of the show, now, this was a 45-minute show, and this lady stayed in the entire show with her granddaughter. At the end of the show, I say goodbye to people. I thought it was very important to actually physically say goodbye to them, so I try to say goodbye to everybody who walked out. And this lady starts yelling at me about her first question was, do you have a problem with this show? And I was like, actually, no. I really did not know how to answer that, because is this a question about like the quality of the show? Is it a question about the evolution, which is deep down, this is where I think you're going to go with this, or what? But I said no, and she laid into me about the evolution component to it and how it was all wrong. She literally told her grandchild to leave the planetarium and that they would discuss this later. And I'm like, well, you're more than welcome to talk to my boss. I mean, I don't even know what to tell you at this point, because you stay for the whole goddamn show with your granddaughter. If you're so worried about your granddaughter, why didn't you leave the first moment we talked about evolution, which was within 5 minutes of the beginning of the show? But I do have other stories, but you said one. So there's the one.
I know at some point we're going to have a show about the history of planetariums, which would be amazing to talk about. But I also would love a show just about planetarium memories.
Yeah.
I think that would be so much fun.
I think Jax can be one week, and I'll relate week is, did we nuke Pluto when it stopped being a planet? and also I would get when we stopped doing the space shuttle, when we stopped launching the space shuttle, people were like, does NASA still exist? And it's like, yes. God, there's more than just the space shuttle. Jeez, let me show you some fucking Hubble pictures. God damn it.
On kind of the flip side, one of the cool moments there, speaking of NASA, is I was giving a show, I think it was like Grand Tour, and it wasn't a big, there was one of these school groups, it wasn't a big audience, it was a small, compact, it was a really good show, having a good time, and kind of at the end of it, I started talking about, I don't know what I was talking about, space flight, things like that, and this is right after I just got my internship to work for the Space Launch System. So I was like, speaking of which, is the Space Launch System, I just got accepted, and people all applauded, and it made me feel warm and fuzzy inside. So that was a cool little moment.
Nice.
Jack says she's old, so night blindness could have been an issue.
I mean,
it's mental blindness.
Mental blindness.
Is what it is.
Mental.
It is completely mental.
Purposeful.
So this needs to be a show, this planetarium stories.
No, we do need to do
We'll
that.
have multiple parts, I'm sure.
Oh, there'll be 20 parts in which...
And we'll have to have guests on each time.
Work in the planetarium, we can have Jack on.
Yeah.
Jack is...
in.
But when I was in South Carolina at Gibbs Planetarium, we had run a show called Cosmic Catastrophes related to the dinosaurs.
Asteroids fuck shit up.
Yep. So in that show, it basically talks about the ways that the universe can kill you. Yeah. And
so many ways.
So many ways. All the ways.
Should not exist.
And so and then we talk about how an asteroid could have killed the dinosaurs. And at the end of the show, this lady comes up to me, said at the Gibbs Planetarium, may it rest in peace. She comes up to me and goes, I know how the dinosaurs died.
It's the best.
Oh, and I
immediately
knew where this was going to go. It was not even a question in my mind. I was like, okay, how? And she said, no, she said the flood. All she said was the flood. And I was like, Noah's flood? and she's like, yes, Noah's flood. They couldn't fit on the boat. And I was like, there were a lot of them the size of fucking chicken. What do you mean it couldn't fit on the boat? What?
Well, no, remember, Ken Hayes says you take the eggs on the ark with you.
Why didn't they get some fucking eggs?
You can take the eggs on you.
Get the eggs. They got eggs in Jurassic Park. Every one of them, there's eggs.
Push.
You can put them in a fucking little satchel.
So, I was like, okay.
Those are the best when it's like, hey, I know a thing.
Oh.
Let me tell you what I know.
I got one more. So this was in Arizona sky, and it's a really fun show. You know, there's communication back and forth, having a good time with it.
Mhm.
And the little girl raises her hand. They go, "Yeah, what's your question?" She goes, "Where's heaven?" I go, "Okay, okay. Well, you know, a lot of people call the sky above you the heavens. So when you look at the stars, you're seeing the heavens. That's a solid, fine answer as far as I'm concerned."
Mhm.
And then she asks another question. "Yeah, what? Why can't we see heaven?" Oh boy. I just kind of kept going off. But this is the heavens, and I stopped calling on her because she was going down that road.
Yeah, you would get that with the little kids. I'm like, is you know,
Why can't
is
we
that where
see
God
Mother in
is?
heaven?
Is
Oh,
blah blah
shit.
blah, or
Yeah.
Jesus did it? And it's like, all right.
All right, so hold on. Jack says Cosmic Catastrophes was not a good show to use with elementary kids. So many angry parents that night on the answer machine. I am so
First of
glad somebody understands my pain.
Can we just highlight what an answering machine is? I don't think. What's the new generation called? It's not millennials because they're grown now. I'm an elder one.
My chest.
Gen Z. I don't know. Zennials. Zoomers.
The Among Us generation.
The answering machine.
I do want to say, Brandon, when you were about ready to start this story, the first thing that popped in my head was a little kid going, "What's behind you?"
Oh my god. Guys,
The
so
planetarium
first of all, we
ghost.
all know planetariums are haunted.
All of them.
But our planetarium was haunted, just hands down.
It's totally haunted.
And, you know, we have scientific minds, and we know that's not actually real. It doesn't actually happen.
But
so there
when
was
hear...
one time I thought, no, this is bullshit. We all have stories and, you know, things like that of hearing things or feeling things. So there was one time I thought, no, this is bullshit. So, you know, I'm a little scared. I hear something down in the catwalk. I hear, like, steps or something. I go, no, this is bullshit. So I stop what I'm doing, and I just run towards it, and I keep hearing it go, and I follow it. I keep up, and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
As long as I go, there's nothing there. Piss me off. Anyway.
Yeah, footsteps in the
so there's
catwalk
that.
behind the dome. That's
Terrifying.
something you
You
don't
hear
want to
all
hear
that.
when you know
So
no
with
one's
that in
back
mind-
there.
With that in mind, you hear the footsteps, and I look, there's nothing there. I do fun treehouse adventures, and it's just fun. What did this
Which is
cloud look like?
a
What's the sun?
real small kid show. Great show.
And during one of the segments, we of course push a button, and a story comes up explaining, you know, how the Hawaiian Islands came up by Maui's Great Hook, and it's a lot of fun. So I play that show for a few minutes. I come back out, I talk about it, and a little small child. They're the only ones in the audience. It's just a family of 3. They're the only ones in there. 200 plus seat planetarium.
210.
Raises his hand and goes, "Yeah, what's your question?" He goes, "What's standing behind you?"
That would make me want to run out of that room.
It's not what's behind you; it's what is standing behind you.
Because what's behind you could be like, oh, this is the night sky. Like,
I'm sure it was like my shadow or something, or a star, or maybe a constellation was on. I didn't turn around.
No.
I stepped a little bit closer to the family and said, "Oh, there's nothing behind there. Well, let's see the next story."
Here's
and
the
then I
trick.
sat like right behind them. For the rest
Here's
of
the
the show.
trick. When you have just one family in the audience, and just one kid, basically, what you do, you sit down next to them. So that way,
You see
you're
what they
both
see.
facing the same way, and you're doing the show together.
And no one's standing behind you.
No one's
It's
fucking standing behind you.
It's also a lot of fun when they can like push buttons on the dome on the pad, and it just gets involved. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time.
Insert creepy
Well-
door sound from Brandon's side of the audio.
Right?
Yeah, but Lena
what's
also had a
standing behind
story.
You? It's Laconia.
Yeah, Lena had a story.
Lena
She
had a
heard
story.
footsteps in the dome.
But it was also hello.
Oh, and the voice. Yeah, she heard a voice where she was standing up at our console where we run the shows, and she was standing on the outer side of it. And she heard coming from behind her a little voice that said, "Hello." I don't know if it was British, but that's what I'm doing. Hello.
Let's just say it's
And
British.
she turned around. Nobody was there. She immediately ran out of the planetarium and into the office.
Mike, tell us some of Joe's stories.
Oh, Joe Kinsey. Joe Kinsey's.
Oh, God.
Joe bullshit.
Oh,
But also,
okay.
you kind of believe it at the same time.
Yes.
Okay,
Cool.
so Arizona Science Center, we had an exhibit the Titanic, which was, to me, one of the greatest.
The first time it came around.
The first time it came around. It was one of the greatest exhibits that we had. It was this multi-level experience, and it was awesome. So, so now we know about Titanic being in the Arizona Science Center. We had a projectionist named Eric, and he was working late one night. This is when we actually had actual film, putting film together, and he was putting it together, splicing it together, and this is in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., 3 o'clock in the morning, he's doing this, and he hears these little girls run by.
Yeah, it was like footsteps and laughter?
It was footsteps and laughter. They were running by laughing, and he goes out the theater room, and of course there's nobody there because it's 3 a.m. in the morning. And so he's just casually talking to Joe Kinsey, who has been at Arizona Science Center for, a trillion years. And he's retelling this story, and all that Joe says, he says nothing else to Eric. He goes, "Oh, so you hear him too," and walks away. And Eric's like, "What the fuck?" So you've heard him too. But apparently, if you talk to Joe will tell you that they came in with the first Titanic. Now, Arizona Science Center ran Titanic a second time, thinking they were going to make a bunch of money off of it. And when Titanic 2 left, the little girls left with it.
Wow, I didn't know it was with Titanic 2. That's when I first went to Arizona Science Center and discovered that there was a planetarium there, because I had moved to Phoenix shortly beforehand, and then ended up applying for a job there because I knew there was a planetarium there after seeing Titanic, which I love Titanic, and we won't get into how much I love Titanic.
Yes,
movie. But
I will say Lord of the Rings is my
Titanic. It's true.
It is true.
Between the two of them, as I just found out recently.
There is Captain E.J. Smith, also Theoden. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. So
and he won both Titanic and Lord of the Rings. Won the most Oscars, and also made like over $1 billion or whatever worldwide. Titanic was.
Yeah, but Lord of the Rings has won the most.
Yeah, Titanic was the first, and then it was Return of the King that won like all 11 of their nominations or something like that. Yeah. And he was a part of.
That was going to be a question yesterday.
Yeah, I was looking for an E.J. Smith question or a Gwahir Eagle name question.
So for those of you on Twitch, we had the Lord of the Rings trivia night last night, and there were 15 questions in all, and you guys went toe to toe to 3 tiebreakers before finally.
God damn it! I was so close.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Jack wants to know if we had the Liberty Bells exhibit. Yes, we did.
Did you?
Yes, we did. In fact, it was the first trip Arizona Science Center sent me on to actually look at an exhibit. So I flew up to Denver. They had the Liberty Bell 7. So I looked at it. It's amazing how small that capsule is. It is teeny tiny.
You and Mike would not be able to fit into it.
No, I would not.
Might be able to.
Liz is the only one. Katie could do it.
Katie could do it.
But yeah, it was meant for small people. But yeah, we had Liberty Bell 7 exhibit, and in all honesty, you can't look at it and not think Gus Grissom. But you don't think Gus Grissom in that. Hey, he got out of Liberty Bell 7, you think of him in Apollo 1. That is for me. I don't know if Jack thinks of him in a different way, but that's how I thought of it. And that was a cool exhibit. It was actually a cool exhibit.
I didn't live in Phoenix at that time.
Yeah. Jack and I are way too tall.
I do remember the first Titanic exhibit going to that, and you got your little ticket as a person to see if you survived it at the end. And going down to, in my mind, I didn't know the layout of the science center at this time. This was what, 2002, 2001-ish time frame?
I was
that the first Titanic came around? Something like that. So I was like 12.
Wait a minute. When? When did you say?
2002.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
And it was a beautifully done exhibit. So if you don't know about Arizona Science Center, which I think most people don't, it really is it has 3 levels. And so Arizona Science Center took this exhibit to 3 levels, and basically the top level, level 3, was the grand staircase, first class. And then as you go further down, you hear more of the ship. You hear it actually physically got warmer, which was an amazing thing. What's that?
I thought it got colder.
No, it got warmer as you got
got
closer to the boiler room. Now, you could actually go up and put your hand on the wall of ice to...
Yeah, this simulated iceberg. They had that in Vegas at the Titanic exhibit.
Yeah, but what was really cool is you got a ticket and it gave you a name, a class,
and if you survived.
first class, third class, and at the end you find out if you survived. You don't know at the beginning. You have to go through.
Yeah. They did that the second time around too. You got your person, and then
that's probably what.
Yeah, but even in Vegas, when we went in Vegas, it had that.
Vegas, they had that as well.
It is.
I think Vegas was like what Arizona Science Center had the second time.
It did. It was, but because they didn't have the multi-level experience, and I really like that being able to the 3-dimensional aspect of the exhibit where you could go down and you felt like you were going into the ship. And as you went further into the ship, the boom, boom, boom got deeper and stronger. And it was an amazing experience. For the 5 people that are listening somehow at this point, if you know how I can get some Mormon underwear,
oh my god!
Let me know.
You're so offensive.
You live in Utah. It should be anywhere.
But I can't get it.
No, I think you have to have like a card. I think you have to have actually
like a secret
some
handshake
fucking
and
ID
wink
to actually shop in the Mormon missionary shops. I don't know, and it's custom made, isn't it? I don't know. We're just
really. I haven't heard of that.
Maybe it's not. I don't know. Well, I know you can get
it's
a custom
the full
made.
thing. It's a onesie. And it's got a little pouch for the guys.
I mean, it's like long johns, but just like shorts and t-shirt.
Yeah, but it's got a pouch for the guys. The women don't have a pouch for obvious.
Don't have penises.
It's called penis eye.
That's where we want to store. We just want to store extra shit in our vaginas. That's where we hide the booze. It's in our fake vaginal pouch.
So I found
out. Hey, it makes sense for me.
Up until like the 70s or something like that, the age to buy liquor for men in Oklahoma was 21, but for women it was 18.
Yeah, you got to get them drunk. Drunk young. We started this episode with the golden age of physics. We end it with sprinkled with magic Jesus dust on Mormon underwear.
Yes.
Courtesy of Jack.
But I would love to have Mormon underwear because I just think it'd be so funny.
Obsessed.
It would be so funny. I would.
I'm gonna, you know what, for Christmas or something, I'm gonna surprise you with some long johns, but I'm gonna make sure that they're shorts and like short sleeve, even if I have to cut it, and then I'm gonna like just put like a big cross on it or something, so you know.
Oh, there's no cross.
That it's more, or a big picture of Joseph Smith or Brigham Young.
Yeah,
and,
Joseph Smith was shot.
No, it'll be a picture of Brigham Young just right on your pouch, protecting the goods. And that's where we will end it with this episode of Cosmos Live on Twitch. Thank you for everyone for joining us, specifically Jack and Katie. anyone else out there
the other
participate
3 people.
more. That could just be us.
That's you,
Logged in our
somebody
own
else.
personal accounts.
It's not me. So there's like at least one other person.
We'll see.
All right.
It could be my mom. She just doesn't know how to type on her iPad. I don't know. I love you, Mom.
All right, we'll see.
We'll see you
everybody.
guys later. Thanks for joining us. It's been great. Bye.
Cheers. Stay safe.
Live long
Stay
and
healthy.
prosper.